Pragmatism is a philosophy that began in the United States around 1870. Popular philosophers credited with pragmatism are Charles Sanders Peirce, William James, and John Dewey. Pragmatism rejects the idea that the function of thought is to represent, describe, and mirror reality. Instead, pragmatists consider thought to be a product of the interaction between organism and environment. Pragmatism's basic concepts state that reality is based upon experience and interactions. These interactions can be with other people, with nature, or with things in general. Based on these experiences, reality is therefore subject to change and is relative. These beliefs are built upon the biological science model of organic growth and change, in which progress is essential. Pragmatists believe that most philosophical topics, such as the nature of knowledge, language, concepts, meaning, belief, and science, are all best viewed in terms of their practical uses and successes.
John Dewey was born in October 1859 in Burlington, Vermont. He attended a public school and later the University of Vermont, where he learned about the evolutionary theory and natural selection. These theories stuck with Dewey throughout his lifetime and impacted his beliefs and philosophies. Dewey later obtained a doctorate degree from Johns Hopkins University, where he learned about the benefits of the scientific method. He began thinking about the ways the scientific method could be applied to philosophy and learning. After graduating, Dewey began teaching at the University of Michigan, where he met his future philosophical collaborate, James Hayden Tufts, who he later followed to the University of Chicago in 1894. While working at the University of Chicago, Dewey began to embrace the theory of pragmatism and eventually was able to open a laboratory school in Chicago, where he could apply his ideas about development and experimental learning. The laboratory school began as a progressive institution that housed the students from nursery ages up until 12th grade. After resigning from the laboratory school, Dewey began teaching at Columbia University, where he remained as a professor for the rest of his career.
Pragmatism can be used in today's classroom in several different ways. A big facet of pragmatism is practical learning, meaning education should apply to the real world. For example, a student living in an urban environment might not benefit from learning about agricultural science methods. However, if we are teaching in a rural area, agricultural science would be very practical to teach. To help students engage in practical learning, the teacher needs to know his or her students and their lives so he or she can focus lessons on what is most important to their future. Although we will all have certain things we have to teach, we can use the concept of practical learning to mold how we teach them. Another way we use pragmatism in the classroom is through experiential learning. Experiential learning is a method of educating through first-hand experience. Examples of this include internships, studying abroad, field trips, field research, and service learning projects. John Dewey strongly believed that knowledge is created through transformation of experience. To gain this knowledge, students need concrete experience, time to reflect and observe, activities that make them conceptualize abstract ideas, and opportunities for active experimentation. Learning through experience should be meaningful and involve all 5 senses. Job shadowing is an example of experiential learning. If you are doing a unit on careers, you might have students go shadow a professional for a day, then write a reflection narrative on their experience. This way, they are learning about the job firsthand, then they are reflecting on what they did. In general, pragmatism is about centering education around the students. As educators, we can use this method by getting to know the best way our students learn, then molding our lessons to be the most effective for them. We relate everything they learn to their daily lives, and we provide them opportunities to engage in learning hands-on.